Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prepare your ear holes for the best wrestling podcast, the hard-hitting wrestling show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Toby Muniz. It's been almost 3 weeks since we've been last broadcasted. 2 weeks really was our break, and unfortunately our season premiere last Tuesday didn't happen because of tropical storm that hit through the state of Connecticut. Thank you to all the workers from Eversource, the front lines who try to get the power going for the state. For 800,000 people was without power, and that number has been reduced to almost near 100,000, but they are working, and hopefully by Tuesday the state is back at 100%. But hey, we got Hector here, and we got Frank, and we'll hear Frank momentarily later on. We're here to catch up on what's going on. I understand that Hector was supposed to be the host for the Tag Team Tournament. That got pushed back till after Summerslam, but there's so much news that's happening and development of NXT Takeover 30 and Summerslam. So we're like 2 weeks away for actually the second best grandest stage Raw, which is behind WrestleMania. Ain't that right, Hector?
Oh yes, we are ready. We're excited for it.
Remember, this is only the beginning as Ripley says, Western Phillies, Mercedes Martinez, Dakota Kai, Dakota kick, the GTK, and maybe Dakota Kai is on her way to Takeover. She is Kai, the #1 contender. Priest has only Lorcan, and there's the reckoning. Lorcan face first hard to the canvas. The favorite is going to Takeover 30. Used to get up, but Keith Lee just manhandling. Cameron Grimes has him up, and the spirit bomb bombs away. Cameron Grimes.
Mr. Lee, I guess we're doing this the hard way.
Quite an excitement there in NXT, but hey, let's cover first with Dakota Kai defeating Rhea Ripley. I called it from the beginning. If you read the article on hhwshow.com, I definitely picked Dakota Kai, and I had thought Raquel Gonzalez was going to show up, but it threw me off guard, man. Mercedes Martinez targeted Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like she's got some business to take care with Rhea Ripley, and I'm really excited to see what's going to go on with that right there. The whole Robert Stone brand and everything. This is just exciting to see. I love it.
Well, there's two agendas here for Robert Stone. He wants to get even with Rhea Ripley for what she had done to him, and then at the same time, Mercedes Martinez already said it was she wants to reach to the top. You know, so who is on top of NXT? Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no disrespect to Io Shirai, who is the NXT Women's Champion, but in order to get there, she has to beat Rhea Ripley. And that also brings me to another event that's going to happen at NXT Takeover 30, and that's the North American Championship. That's going to be on the line. It's a ladders match, and it will be Damian Priest, Bronson Reed, and two more superstars, which we will find out this Wednesday. Damian Priest and Bronson Reed, they got some beef with one another. And it's going to be really interesting to see what could possibly happen this Wednesday.
Yeah, I really like Bronson Reed, the way he's cutting his promos. You know, he's really determined to get to the top. You know, the struggles he had to deal with to get to where he's at right now. And I mean, he's almost convincing me, no matter who else is left to slide in there. But, you know, that's another story for another time. But yeah, we're going to see who's the last two to fill these spots.
The reason why two more spots are going to be available is because of the fact that Dexter Lumis is listed injured because he has suffered an ankle injury, and he is not medically cleared, and he will not be ready for NXT TakeOver 30. So we're going to have Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, Ridge Holland, and another unknown superstar that will be named on Wednesday to see which two superstars will actually enter the ladders match for NXT TakeOver. I just got a gut feeling that Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano are going to be the two superstars going in to join Bronson Reed and Damian Priest.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of predictable. I mean, I think they kind of threw us off with Dexter Lumis winning that triple threat match just to kind of throw us off our game a little bit. But then now they got Finn Balor getting back into it with Gargano. So, yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see Lumis because, he's that quiet type that just gets things done without having to say nothing. And I like that. But it's unfortunate that he has to deal with an ankle injury. So, yeah, Finn Balor, he's really putting his mind on getting this title back, but everybody else who's in it has a legit reason why they should have that title around their waist too. So it's going to be very interesting. I like what William Regal's doing here. So NXT is stepping up their game, and I'm loving it, every bit of it.
It just can't get any better to what happened at the end of NXT when the Imperium defeated the Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team Championship. They retained the title, but the real story behind it was Adam Cole. I mean, Adam Cole didn't stick with his team, got off track, and he was focusing on Pat McAfee. Those of you that don't know, Pat McAfee is a former punter for the Indianapolis Colts who has his own podcast. At his podcast, he had beef with Adam Cole, and this is not the first time that them two exchange with one another. And now they have a scheduled match coming up at NXT TakeOver 30.
Yeah, that right there, I'm hoping they do something right with Adam Cole, because ever since losing that title, it seemed like his important status is going down a little bit, getting punted by a former NFL player. And before that, he was on top of the NXT world. It's like, are we degrading Adam Cole? Are we setting him up for the next level or something? I don't know. I just hope they make something good out of it, because I'm right now not a big fan of it right now.
We made a prediction on the show that we thought that the end of Undisputed Era at NXT was already over, and that they will move to SmackDown to maybe have a rivalry with the New Day. But now they're out of the picture. We have the tag team champions Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, who's pretty much by themselves. There's really 4 tag teams dangling a little bit or something like that. I mean, it gets old after a while when you see the same 4 tag teams, so we needed something to freshen up, and that's not the case. Maybe this is it. Maybe after NXT TakeOver 30, we might see a change for the Undisputed Era. But Adam Cole is going to come out victorious in this, because they're not going to let an outsider dictate what's going on in NXT. But speaking about SmackDown, hey, check out this clip of what happened last Friday.
To be honest, I'm surprised this one's still going. Wait a minute. God, from behind, Shorty G again. Shorty G, who last week beat the hell out of Riddle. Shorty G interrupting a tremendous match between Sheamus and Riddle. Sheamus absolutely irate, and a drop kick to Shorty G. WrestleMania, that's why he's one of the... Oh, who the... is that? It's Mandy. It's Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose coming to get her some retribution out of Sonya Deville. All over Sonya Deville like God's greatest soccer mom right now. Rose is going out here. Oh my God! They have weapons. Is that retribution?
Quite significant events that happened last Friday on SmackDown. We'll get to the retribution later on. But the start of the show, we had Matt Riddle versus Sheamus, which ended in no contest. And the biggest takeaway here is the King's ransom. Now, Hector, we talked about this earlier, and welcome aboard, Frank, on this. The takeaway on Shorty G. What kind of lessons did we learn from this?
I know we've talked about this. We have our different opinions on it. For me personally, Shorty G is a very accomplished superstar. He has a wrestling background. He's good at what he does. But, sometimes I feel like, me personally, when money talks, people are going to listen a little closely. And, with this King ransom, he's honestly, I think this is a whole different subject, with King Corbin fulfilling his obligations with that. But that's besides the point. He's offering, Shorty G a King's ransom. To me, that's like, okay, I'm going to give you money if you could take out a certain particular person for me. Okay, and I think personally, when it comes to something like that, the love of money can devour somebody's value, and Shorty G, his value is going to go down that way, because when you present something like that in their life, they become a different person, You know, I mean, the passion for money can kind of like trap you and quickly swallow you whole, and then next you know, you just throw away everything you work for and what, you know, everything people know you about, you know. And it also can fuel competition. Maybe we could see a different side of Shorty G that he's been holding back with, you know. So that's just the way I'm seeing it from my side. So what do you say?
It's about the money. He wants the money. He's gonna perform, and he's gonna do anything that he has to do to get that money, whether it be a nice guy, whether it be a bad guy. All right. I mean, at the end of the day, money talks.
But okay, you guys mentioned about money and stuff. I see this totally different. I see a person that at the beginning he had a conversation with King Corbin. All of a sudden, he's being nice to Shorty G. Now, for King Corbin, he's trying to have an upper hand against Matt Riddle. And we're going to know that by SummerSlam, we're going to see Matt Riddle versus King Corbin. You know, but King Corbin's trying to set the conditions for his favor. On the other side, you got Shorty G, who wants to be on top. All right? And why not try to use, or maybe he thinks that maybe King Corbin's going to allow him to, you know, reach to the top to get a title shot or something, but sooner or later he's gonna be disappointed. Like we see all these old movies back in the days, the Roman empires and stuff. The king always promises this, and that, and then all of a sudden, you know, they do what it's supposed to do. Oh wait, well I want you to do one more thing. Oh wait, I want you to do one more thing. You know, you keep promising, but at the end of the day, nothing's being delivered except for King Corbin's going to have it his way.
And Shorty G should know better because they've had their feuds with each other. You know, he should know better, but, you know, King Corbin is saying something that's really catching his attention.
And of all superstars, only Shorty G is helping King Corbin. You know what I mean? So, and then he paid the price. He got thrown. He just got tossed by Matt Riddle and got bro kicked by Sheamus, not once, but twice. Okay, did Shorty G learn his lesson?
I don't think so. Now I think it's going to cause a tag team match. Now I think that's what we're going to see.
I guess Matt Riddle and Sheamus versus King Corbin and Shorty G for this Friday. And if that happens, that's definitely predictable.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see. But there's more to the story because now we have Sheamus who was pissed off. Shorty G did what he had to do, and it told him, you know, is it worth it to have a king's ransom? And then during the King Corbin and Jeff Hardy, Sheamus went and interfered in the match by hitting Jeff Hardy, causing disqualification, allowing Jeff Hardy to win that match. And that's set up for Sheamus and King Corbin to go after each other.
Yeah, you know, I think, what was that term that we use for, you know, when you're both on either side? Was it a tweener or something like that? I think Sheamus is playing.
A tweener.
Yeah, I think Sheamus is playing both roles here. I think Sheamus is stuck in the middle between both of these. And, you know, we see what he did to Jeff Hardy, and it wasn't because of Jeff Hardy, it was because of Corbin. But Jeff Hardy's going to have something to say with this. So, yeah,
right.
We're talking about a love triangle with all these guys. And why is it Matt Riddle just all of a sudden, you know, putting his 2 cents in it? You know, like, okay.
Absolutely.
And then talk about frenemies, you know, that's another term, you know. So Sheamus and Riddle, yeah, it's just, I like what SmackDown's doing. That to me, they're elevating higher than Raw, and I think it's good.
That's a lot of turbulence going on at SmackDown, and that's why it's a much-watched WWE brand right now. Besides NXT, but Raw needs to catch up because, you know, 3 hours of Raw, usually you'll end it to where you want to know what's gonna happen the following week. That's not the case, but maybe the Retribution is the answer to everyone's problems, as last Friday, again, Retribution caused some chaos. You know, they disrupted a little bit on Raw with the lights and everything else, but now they came out SmackDown and they made a lot of noise.
And let's just let people know, for who don't understand, what the word retribution means. Okay, we're talking about that word retribution, punishment inflicted on someone as vengeance for a wrong criminal act. Okay, who they going after? What is the retribution about? You know, so, and these are pretty small people. They're not big. So, right. Like, who you going after?
Well, here's the thing. Watch this. There's 5. 2 of them are females, 3 of them are dudes, right?
Yep.
There's
So I'm already
2.
saying that Chelsea Green and Vanessa Bourne, I think they fit that description to be those 2 females. Who the other 3 is, I have no idea. I'm trying to dissect it, and the more times that I'm trying to, slow the frame little by little just to see. And then there's one voice, and it sounds familiar, but I just can't get it yet. So I'm asking you viewers, if you guys know who they are, let us know. Leave your comments. Frank, who you think it is?
I have no idea. They're all short. They're not that tall.
Well, it's not Shorty G, I'll tell you that much.
Definitely.
he was suffering the bro kicks.
Oh, for
But
sure.
hey, do you think Cedric Alexander is one of them?
I had that thought for some reason. So I don't know why it was him and Leo Rush that I was the 2 that I was thinking about. But yeah, I thought about Leo Rush for some crazy reason. Because he has been on the WWE roster before. So, his came to my head. So, just keep that in mind. But yeah, Cedric Alexander, I just for some reason I think is going to turn the other way. Ricochet, yeah, we can see that. I think it can happen. SmackDown needs that right now because if we're going to get all these faces, okay, if Sheamus is going to turn, you got Jeff Hardy, you still can't forget the Intercontinental Champion who's still kind of floating around. So it could be somebody like that needs this, And they may go after AJ Styles, they may go after Jeff Hardy. Who knows? I don't know who they want. They just brought a chainsaw and it was a massacre, and bats and the spray paint. Is this the new Nexus? Are we seeing the new Nexus? I mean, this is interesting.
Indeed it is. And like I said, I went through the rosters to try to find out exactly who they are, by description, and it's very hard to tell, man. And who knows when. I hope they don't release their identities just yet, though.
Well, then
I like the suspense.
Yeah, and I like it too. But then now, what about the fans? There was no social distancing because they whooped on everybody who was out there, and it's like, wow, that was sad. The innocence, unless they retribution against those people. I don't know.
I have no idea either.
Like it.
But hey, let's put it this way. WWE's been looking for a new look to get more people to be engaged with the WWE brands. Do you think that this is the last time we'll see the ring in that perspective with the ropes?
I
Do you think WWE is going to have a new look?
Go
ahead, Frank.
I think it might, because remember, they started now with this Raw Underground stuff. So it's looking towards that. You know what? We might not see the ring ropes, or it might be an adjustment of what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, can we see no ring ropes? Yeah. I mean,
well, whatever it is, here's another thing that we haven't discussed was Shane McMahon. Does Shane McMahon have something to do with this, or is he just strictly Raw Underground? You know what I mean? How does these two relate? I mean, this has happened simultaneously. Shane McMahon handled this thing Raw Underground. Then you had MVP and his crew, the Hurt Business. Dolph Ziggler was also wrestling. He left. There's other superstars that were there. Do they have anything combined with the Retribution? That's the way to be seen. So I'm looking at these key personnel right now, and who knows? Maybe we're definitely at left field. We need to come back home and readjust what we're thinking, but we'll see.
Well, Survivor Series is still yet to come, so if they're trying to set each other up for a big Survivor Series brawl, then this is a good time to get it started.
Absolutely. And hey, talking about brawl, there's something going on next Friday, and that is the Battle Royal for the #1 contenders match, SmackDown Women's Championship. There are 18 superstars that I gathered. It could be more or it could be less, but I'll start from the very top. Charlotte Flair to me was the #1 that I thought, but she's been out of the net, and I don't think that she's gonna make her presence in SummerSlam. But the other one is Nikki Cross. Definitely, I know she's gonna be involved. But if Nikki Cross there, do you think Alexa Bliss will be involved?
Oh yeah. Well, hold on now. Now she's got the Fiend got her under control. So, but if we see a transformation of her before then, maybe so. Maybe so.
I guess it all depends on how they're gonna do this battle royal. Are they all gonna start simultaneously, or are they gonna call them one by one? You know, and then how many superstars will be there? That's the question.
They could do it like a
multi-brand.
do it like
Say again, Frank.
It's a multi-brand, so I mean, it's a regular battle royal. So normally, your regular battle royals are everybody's in the ring,
Right.
or
And again, it all depends on how they go about that. But then another one is Shayna Baszler. Great potential, even though she punched Sasha Banks in the face, you know. But she's always been watching Bayley's matches, so let's see. Dana Brooke, I know Bayley's done her wrong many times. Lacey Evans, you know, making fun of her and her daughter. Carmella, there was room with Carmella when Carmella wanted to know why did Bayley change? Why did she go from hugging to be this big heel? So that storyline is still unfinished. Tamina, they cheated her way to defeat her. Peyton Royce has been rumored to go back into singles competition. So who knows what can happen with the Iconics in the future. NXT, I got Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox. Both of them are familiar with Bayley. And then Naomi. I think Naomi, to me, is probably the favorite to win this battle royal. Who's your favorite?
I'm gonna go left field with this one. Sasha Banks.
But Sasha Banks ain't wrestling.
I don't think Sasha Banks would be in it. It makes no sense for her to be in it.
She's not in it.
You never know. Things are just twisting and turning for crazy reasons. Why was the lights flickering? Why we got ninjas? I mean, we don't know. It could be the Retribution who's going to take apart this whole battle royal. Anything can happen. You know, I mean, even though they all got the belts, but Sasha Banks, you just never know. She might just take somebody's place, and then she gets thrown in the battle royal. I just see something funny happening with this.
Well, the only thing that I can see happening right now is a big difference from Monday Night Raw with Sasha Banks is awaiting to see if Asuka will beat Bayley.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I still got a feeling that Asuka will win. But if Bayley were to win, then I could see something formulating between them two. I don't know. Or they could just, get those belts hostage. I mean, there's just so many angles to this. But I still have a gut feeling that Asuka is gonna she's at her revenge, so she's gonna definitely win this Monday. So we could see Asuka versus Sasha Banks for SummerSlam. But as far as for Bayley is concerned, and I'm sorry, I gotta disagree with you, Hector. Ain't no Sasha Banks in this one.
No.
And if there was a plan, it'd probably be for WrestleMania, which is the bigger event. But I still think that Naomi, just because she has this movement going on social media. Who you got, Frank?
I really don't know, but I would think that you gotta get these new and upcoming NXT stars coming out. All right, I think that has to be one of the feuds, or at least chatting for it. I mean, I'm tired of seeing Bayley. I mean, as much as I love Sasha Banks, all right, I'm tired of seeing her too. I'm tired of those that role that they have. They're holding everything hostage, and it's like, God damn, give someone else a chance, So I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be one of the NXT stars to go.
Well, that's good that they got all the titles, because it brings out more of the rest of the women's in the women's division. Is another way of saying the women's revolution.
Right.
Or evolution. So that brings them up and say, who's going to step up to the plate and really challenge these two superstars? That's what it boils down to. Yeah, everyone's tired of seeing the Four Horsemen, this and that, going back and forth. Where are the rest of the women at? Well, guess what? This is now the opportunity to see these women stars come at it from whatever direction to chase those championship belts.
Yep.
I mean, it's good too. I mean, we do definitely need to see different women's superstars out there than these two. But you know what? I mean, until you knock them off the pedestal, they are who they are. They are the champs, of everything. So, but yeah, you definitely put a bigger bullseye on your back because you don't know who's going to come at you at any given time for any of those titles. So, yeah, you put yourself at a vulnerable situation against everybody on all three brands. So, yeah, it's going to be very tough for them to defend. But if they come out of this for quite a while, then history books are going to show that they're probably going to be considered the best champions ever if they go through this.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see what happens then. I mean, there's still plenty of time between now and SummerSlam. Like I said, we're 2 weeks away. August 23rd is the SummerSlam. August 22nd is the NXT Takeover 30. And hey, stay tuned for that. We still got the show going on this Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Like I said, this is our new season of the Road to SummerSlam. That's what we're calling it right now, in conjunction with our latest, the Tag Team Turmoil, which that's coming up after SummerSlam. So, hey, one other superstar we did not mention that I think is a sleeper is Natalya. She's always involved in all these events, and I wouldn't be surprised if she showed up in the Battle Royal. And then, of course, the rivalry between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. That's like the biggest, hottest topic right now in the women's division right now. These two is going at it. Yeah, I saw the video clip earlier that Sonya Deville was cutting her hair, and then afterwards you saw Mandy Rose trying to get even. She got a new look.
I love it.
Of course you do.
I love it. I love
but hey, that feud is going, and then in conjunction with that, you have Miz and Morrison and the Heavy Machinery. And speaking about the Heavy Machinery, we're leading into our last topic, and it's Otis. Otis is the winner of the Money in the Bank briefcase, Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and yet we have no word as to when he's going to cash in Money in the Bank. So what are your predictions here on out? When do you think he'll have the opportunity to cash it in? Anybody? Any takers?
Oh man, I just hope that it's the tag team champions, because if the Fiend was to win that title and he loses his everlasting mind and try to go after the Fiend, then it's just a wasted opportunity. I mean, he just better stick to trying to go after Cesaro and Nakamura. But since they just won the belts, he may just hold this thing all the way to WrestleMania or to next year. So I think that's his best right now to the storyline. Yeah.
Think about it. That'd be a bold move. Use Mandy Rose, right, to the advantage, distract the Fiend, and then he'll clobber with the briefcase at the Fiend, cash it in, take the belt, and now you got the Fiend chasing Heavy Machinery. I guess that's a little bit too much.
Well,
hey,
Mandy Rose.
Hey, look,
but
because
if Mandy Rose is part of this, then Bliss will be part of this, because I have her as a puppet master. So who knows?
Well, Jason says he prays he don't cash it in. But
no.
Hey, SummerSlam, there's always something going on. But hey, depending on what's going on with Otis and Tucker, that's a big difference maker. I still feel like, and I said this before, that he'll cash it in on the tag team titles, because no one's ever done that before. And you got the best people to cash it in, and that is Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Tag team champions, have them being defeated, take the titles away, and we'll see something that's never been done before.
Yeah, but it's simple that.
I think that's good, because if they're building Otis to be more aggressive than playful, then that will the kind of a Otis that we need in Heavy Machinery, an aggressive guy, because Cesaro and Nakamura are not going to give up the belts easily. So they're going to claim stake as the best tag team in the SmackDown division. Right. So they need a serious Otis if that's going to happen.
Well, one last thing, Jason, I don't think that's going to happen. He says, imagine if he gives it to Manny to cash it in. I doubt that to happen, just because they already had a woman's Money in the Bank championship, and that turned into a championship belt. I don't see anything transferring whatever because that has Otis' name all over it, and I don't think that's actually a possibility. Never even heard that, but hey, if it does, but that will definitely blow my mind.
Be sure to visit hswshow.com where you can find all the Clovercrest Media sports shows, including the Hard Hittin' Wrestling Show, All Four Downs, and Keys to the City. If you ever want to do a podcast, this is the place to do it. Starting at just $15 a month, you can get unlimited hosting and $50 for full service. Visit clovercrestmedia.com for more information.
A big thank you to the StreamYard for their fine streaming service. For Tyler Bard, Frank Cuesta, and Hector Vasquez, I am Ovi Muniz. Thank you for listening to the Hard Hittin' Wrestling Show.